Yeah. Then I was back in Berlin, and the story would go on. I still wasn't able to get away from my addiction. I tried hard, and I remember one day, one very, yeah, yeah, no, yeah, no, I don't want to talk about that now. Um, it went on and on. I went to, yeah, jail out, running away from therapy, going to the streets, all that. You know that story. You know how it works. And um, one day, my mother was working in Sweden as a German teacher, and one day she came to me and showed me a newspaper article in Sweden from an organization called Patriarcha, from Lucien Engelmeyer. I was interested. Um, it was a worldwide organization with about 6,000 members, and it wasn't actually allowed in Germany. There was no center or something in Germany because it was in Germany it was called a cult or a sect, you know. And but everywhere else it was in Spain, in France, in Sweden, in America, in South America, in Central America, everywhere the Patriarch was quite a big organization. And it was like drug addicts helped drug addicts. It wasn't a real therapy. It was like um, when you came there. Okay, I tell you my story. For example, my mother showed me the article. I said, okay, I want to go there. She bought me a airplane ticket to Palma de Mallorca, to the Santa La Torre Nueva. Yeah, this was a first admission center, and I flew there. And I was real stoned when I came to Mallorca. It was like May, and two people waited for me at the airport with a car with a cage in the back, and they took me inside that cage and drove with me to the mountains of La Palma. And we came to a center, really big center actually, and there were maybe maybe 200 people living, 200 addicts living together, working, doing pay. I explained in a minute. And the first day it was quiet. They didn't want anything from me, They didn't want me to be stoned. But in the next morning, I remember I went to bed in the evening, in the morning, and they took my bed, lifted it up, and let it, and the bang from my foot. They're like, what the fuck's going on? They said, venga, vamos a trabajar, ¿no? Niño, vamos, va, cabrón. And I didn't understand a shit. They were swearing around in Spain and all that, and I didn't understand nothing. And I had actually, for the first 10 days, I was called a poster macho. The new guy is a poster macho. And I had two, what was it called? I had two guys, two big Spain guys, for the first 10 days controlling me 24 hours. One was on the left side, one was on the right side, and they made me working. They made me working all day. If I was sick or not, they didn't give a shit. And if I said I don't want to do that, they even tried harder to make me do that. And if I really was like, no, I don't want to work anymore, they gave me a bag of stones on my back, and they let me walk 20 kilometers in the heat of Palma de Mallorca. And I had to drink every half or every hour, I don't know the time, or every 2 hours they had to drink tea, warm tea, specialty. And everywhere were these posters from this guy, Lucien Engelmeyer, or his son actually. Yeah, it was. I thought, that's a cult. This guy was a long white beard, and it was cult style. They were all looking up, and this guy was actually the founder of this whole organization. He founded it in '76, somewhat, and he made it real big. And now he had like 6,000 junkies working for him. Not for him. They were working for themselves, but they actually were working for him, and for his family. The money flow was going to his family. I understood this um, quite fast. And yeah, they had a group of people who were doing pay. That meant they were going out of the center in a big car. Hang on. And they were knocking on doors and trying to get asking for money. Poor drug addicts need some help. Can you give us whatever, some potatoes or some money or whatever? So I thought it's okay, because the most of the Spanish and Portuguese and French people, they had no money. The parents didn't pay for them to be there. But the German and the Swiss guys and this from Northern Europe, where was more money back then, they had the parents pay for it. Like my mother paid, I think, $1,000 a month or something. It was quite a lot of money. If you imagine, 6,000 guys, maybe 1,000 are getting. Paying, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. $1,000 a month, 6,000 by 1,000. Yeah, that's a lot. But it wasn't that important, for me back then, at that time. So I was working day in, day out, until I stopped being sick. Then I was able to go to the reunion. This was every evening, I think. They met up in a circle and talked about their day, how it was. And especially the post-matches, like the new guys, were talking about. They were being asked in Spanish, actually. Nobody of them spoke English, nobody of them spoke German, and I wasn't speaking Spanish. So I had to find my way. And actually, I learned Spanish in more or less 2 or 3 months. I was able to communicate in Spanish, because it was such a pressure, to have some communication, because nobody spoke my language and they didn't spoke their language. And if in the reunion, if you said, for example, I was working for the first 10 days with the pigs, very, very far inside. I had to clean the pig houses and give them food, and I was working the pigs, and I said, I don't like that fucking job. I don't want to work with the pigs in the fucking sun, And the next 10 days, I was keeping on working with the pigs. So I understood. One Spanish guy actually tried to explain to me. as more you say you don't like something, as more they let you do it. And if you say you don't like something, if you say you like something, I say, I love it. I love working with the pigs. I love pigs, you know. Then they give me another job, maybe a better job, and it was it was like that. How better you were functioning in this organization, how better you were, how better you were functioning, how faster um, you were climbing up the stairs. And in the evening they were showing movies, you know, made from the Patriarch, about the Patriarch. And they had centers all over the world, in Europe, everywhere. Beautiful big castles, you know, with thousands of hundreds of people working in there and having fun, yeah. And they had a center in New York, in New Jersey, in Miami Beach, in Belize, in Nicaragua. And oh man, as soon as I saw the movie about Belize, New Jersey, and Miami, I was like, wow, that's where I want to go, man. That's where I want to be. And as better you functioned, as faster you will be able to go there. And you were climbing up the stairs. And at the end, you were able to be a chief of a whole center, you know? And that's why the people were talking only good about the Patriarch. Yeah, it's so nice, yeah, it's so beautiful. I love it. And they were working and like shit, because they wanted to climb up the stairs. They wanted to go out of the shit of the center in La Torre Nueva and in La Palma, and they wanted to go to New York and Miami Beach, driving their own car. You know, that's what the people did up there. And yeah, after 2 months, I had quite a good reputation. I was working good, I was strong. People liked me. And I said, yeah, I want to go to Belize. You know, they asked me, what do you want to do? You know, you're clean now, where you want to go in the world? You know, you can choose. Because I was functioning good, I could choose. The people who were complaining and didn't want to work, they couldn't choose nothing. They were like in handcuffs, you know. And so I was able to choose, I was functioning. And so one day, suddenly, they came up to me and said, pack your bags, you're going to the airport. And there came a car and picked me up with 2 other guys and drove me to a very big center right outside Madrid. It was a big center, it was wow. And the boss of the center was a very huge Israeli guy, you know, a very big guy from Israel. And he was very aggressive, and people were really frightened of him, you know, because he made them work as shit, you know. I met him later in New Jersey, actually, in New York. I met him, no, in New Jersey, Hoboken. And yeah, he wanted to get out at the time. He wanted to get out. He wasn't functioning anymore. And like I did, at the end I wanted to get out of there. Yeah, but at the first 2 years or something, I was functioning quite well, or the first 3 years. So, like I said, I was going. I flew I drove to Madrid, the center, and from Madrid I went to the airport and flew directly to Miami. Wow, man, that was the first time in my life I was in America. Miami, and it was so beautiful. And we got picked up by a car, you know, like. Yeah, very nice car, big car, with a nice guy with sunglasses, music was on it. Hey guys, Patriarch, yeah, come here. And we were driving to not a center, it was like a hangar, you know, right in Miami Beach. You know, that's where the millionaires live. They had a hangar there. And there were beautiful house, you know, like with a boat and I was sitting in Miami Beach I was able to drive my own car, not my own, but the car where I wanted. I didn't have to go out with two people all the time. I could go wherever I want. I was able to smoke. We were going for drink once a week. The people in America they were really exclusive, you know. They were doing what they wanted. And the people in Europe, they were actually working for them or for us. You know, I was one of the people in America. Then I was happy about it, you know. I was like, wow, Europe was too tough for me, you know. I never said that. I never said that's what I was thinking, you know. So I was happy to be there. And I stayed in Miami for maybe 2-3 weeks. And then we catch the flight to Belize City. And this was oh man, this was one of the beautiful places I ever have been, you know. It was even better than Thailand, man. Belize is like Jamaica, you know. You have Creole people there, black and Spanish. It's right below Yucatan, you know. That's where the Mayas were. That's where Belize is. And the people were so relaxed. Everywhere was reggae music and Bob Marley and Rasta people were smoking joint. The grass was actually, the marijuana was, you could get from the streets, you know. It was growing there. And it was really relaxed place, man. Wow. And they had a hangar in Belize City, and the center far away from the city, in the middle of the jungle on the beach, you know, right on the beach in the Caribbean, with a beautiful view of the whole Caribbean, with coral reefs right in front of you. And they had a big center there. And I couldn't believe it. I was so happy, you know. I just saw a movie about Jonestown. It wasn't like Jonestown, you know, but you know, all those places have something in common, you know. They don't let you go easy, and they want you to talk good about them, and they want you to honor the master, Lucien, or Jim Jones, whatsoever. Yeah.